Welcome back to Axio Social, where we help you grow your church one visitor at a time. My name is John, and today we're going to be talking about paid ads. This is one video in a series of videos breaking down the different communication channels available to your church. We're talking about what they're good at, what they're not so good at, and then how I recommend that you use each of those communication channels in the overall strategy for your church. But today we're talking about paid ads, and I want to take just half a second and explain what do I mean when I say paid ads. This could be boosting content on social media like Facebook or Instagram. This could be specific ad campaigns that you're paying for on social media, or this could be Google ads would be another example of paid ads. So that's really kind of what we're talking about in today's video. Let's get started with the pros. The first pro for paid ads is that they are very targetable. So if you would like to get specific content in front of eyeballs of people that live within 10 miles of your church, this is the best way for you to do that. For normal social media posts, you don't have control over who gets to see it. Now, in general, it's going to kind of lean towards people that have liked or followed your page or your account, but you can't specifically tell it, I only want to show this to people that live within 5 miles of my location. Just doesn't work that way with normal social media posts. But with ads, it does. You can get really specific with the geolocation that you're targeting, but you can also get specific on demographics. So if I only want to show this content to men for some reason, you could do that. If you only want to show it to women that are ages 40 to 50, you could do that. That's an option for you. You can get really specific in the way that you target this content, which opens up a lot of different strategies on how we use this communication channel. The second pro for paid ads is that they are very scalable. I can start small, and if it works, I can go really, really, really big. I can get content in front of a ton of eyeballs. It's all really dependent on how much money I want to spend on it. But that scalability is not the case with some of the other communication channels we have available to us. Like email, for example, is only ever going to go as large as the list of email addresses you have, right? It's not going to break outside of that. Same thing for on-stage announcements. You're really only going to ever get to the people that showed up for service that week. This is different. With paid ads, I can spend more dollars, and it can be expensive, but it is scalable. We can get it in front of more eyeballs if it starts to work for us. The final pro for paid ads is what I think is the most important thing about it, and is that it can reach people outside of your church. There are very few communication channels available to you that have an opportunity to get content in front of eyeballs of people that have not yet visited your church. I think paid ads do this better than any of the other communication channels available to us. That is really, really powerful when we're creating the overall communication strategy for our church, but we'll talk about that a little bit more at the end when I recommend how you should be using this communication channel. Let's switch gears and talk about some of the cons for paid ads. The first one, that paid part. This can be expensive. It can get really expensive depending on the way that you're using it. So you got to keep that in mind. This is something that you've got to plan for. This is something that you have to devote money to, devote part of your budget to paid ads. Now, a lot of churches end up doing paid ads or boosting posts around Christmas, around Easter. I would personally recommend that you have a monthly ad budget. So even if it's the same amount that you were going to spend, spread it out over 12 months. I want you having ads going all of the time, not just on Christmas and Easter, because everybody else is going to have ads going during Christmas and Easter as well. So even if you don't increase your ad budget, stretch it out over the full year and you're going to get better results because of that. The second con for paid ads is that they require quality creative work. Now that's either photography, graphic design, copywriting, or videography, some combination of those things. If you don't do that part well, it's not going to work all that well. So if the photos you're posting as part of your ads are blurry or don't look that great, or it's just angry people in your church lobby, like that's not going to work very well. So you've got to go way above and beyond to make sure that if you're creating ads and spending money on it, that you've got quality creative work represented. So go out and hire a professional photographer, go out and hire a videographer, go out and hire a graphic designer if that's going to be kind of part of this ad. Make sure the creative part's done very, very well before you dump a bunch of money into getting the ad out there in front of eyeballs. Our final con for paid ads is that it can be sometimes difficult to target an existing audience. Now, it's not impossible. Some of you expert marketers are going to listen to this and say, absolutely, you can copycat audiences on Facebook. There are ways to do this, but on a basic level, it can be difficult for you to use paid ads to reach, let's say, just the people inside of your church, for example. This is not a great tool to do that. It's hard to kind of constrain it to an audience that would be just people that are already familiar with your church, for example. That's not really the best way to use this type of communication channel. You'll be much better off if you're targeting your existing audience to use something like text messages, your app, your website, or especially email would be about the best way to do it. So this is really for kind of wider audiences, especially audiences that are not yet part of your church community. So that's our pros, that's our cons. Did I miss one? Is there something that's really amazing about ads or something that's not so amazing about ads that I missed? Make sure and remind me in the comments below. But let's talk a little bit about how I recommend that you actually use ads or paid ads in your church. The first thing that I would recommend would be to start. If you've not explored this, if you've not done paid ads as part of your communication strategy, you need to start doing it. This is one of the most powerful tools for reaching people outside of the four walls of your church. Man, if you've not done it and you start doing it and you do it well, you will be blown away. You will get people knocking on your door, visiting your church each and every weekend, and that really is the goal. Reach people outside of the four walls of your church, invite them to become part of your community. This is probably the absolute best communication channel for accomplishing that, getting content in front of eyeballs, inviting them to church, and getting them inside of your church for the very first time. Now, I know that can be intimidating. If you've never done that before, you don't have that knowledge, I hear you. That's why my company exists. That's what I help churches do. Now, I can either just step in and do that for you, or if you've got staff members that need to learn these skills, I can step in and train your staff members as well. There'll be links to my website down in the description of this video where you can learn more and you can get in contact with me. But I just really want to encourage you, if you've not explored paid ads before, start exploring. Start learning this skill. It is a very critical part of your overall communication strategy for your church. Now remember, this video is one video in a series of videos where we've broken down each and every communication channel available for your church. There'll be links to the other videos down in the description below, so go and check those out. Again, there's links to my website down there if you'd like to get in contact with me or learn more about the services that my company provides. But that is it for today's video. Make sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you've not done so already, so you can see more content from us. And if I missed something, if there's a way that you use paid ads that's different from what I talked about here, I want to know about it. Let me know down in the comments below if you've got a unique way that you've been able to use paid ads as part of your communication strategy for your church. But that's it for today's video. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed it. We will see you next time.